It is Wednesday night. Time for some straight talk. I have crazy audio issues going right before we go live, and that's always seems like there's always going to be something to throw it off. But I'm running live on one computer, so I have no music running in the background if I want it. You can hear me over Spreaker or Ustream.tv. I'm live on two platforms. One of our platforms is down, and one of my computers is down. I mean, the computer's up. It's just not picking up the audio. So I don't know what happened. I had a power outage right before earlier tonight, and it must have thrown something off. Hopefully we'll get it fixed for after, but I wanted to do is go live for Wednesday night show. A little late, but we're here. Show must go on. Tons of stuff going on in the news. I mean, there's still... I don't know if there's any update on the manhunt in... it says Berlin suspect dodged deportation according to Tunisian suspect in Berlin. Christmas market attack faced German terror probe, officials said, or past German terror probe. The prime suspect sought in a deadly attack on Berlin Christmas market. A 24-year-old Tunisian migrant was the subject of a terrorism probe in Germany earlier this year and was not deported, even though his asylum bid was rejected. A senior German official said Wednesday. So, the suspect, who went by numerous aliases, was also identified by German authorities as Anis Amri. Became the subject of a national manhunt after investigators discovered a wallet with his identity documents in the truck used in Monday's attack that left 12 dead. Two law enforcement officials told Washington Post. I don't know. I just think, that's probably him, but it just sounds weird that it'd be so convenient that he would leave his wallet behind. So, but I can't understand how somebody can plow into a bunch of people, killing 12, injuring almost 50. You gotta have something wrong with your mindset to be that way. I don't care what your religion thinks you should do. They're so afraid of calling it, radical Islam or anything like that. And then they also have you had your ambassador from Russia, get assassinated live on TV from a Turkish police officer, 20-some-year-old police officer. And there was a liberal journalist that came out, and he was with... let me bring up my... just firing that computer up, see if I can get that... It says, waiting for that. Oh, God, it's just... Well... Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Here we go. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, it says, boy, this computer is running slow tonight. I don't know what's going on. It's one of them nights. Nothing wants to go right for you. Oh, all right, here we go. It said, a writer for the New York Daily News argued Tuesday that the justice was served following the assassination of Russian ambassador Andrei Karlov. It says, according to Gertz Kuntzman, the murder of Karlov at the hands of a Turkish police officer shouting Allah Akbar and don't forget Aleppo was not terrorism, but instead a noble act. Seriously. And this guy, Gersh Kuntzman, he's able to keep his job, talking like that. If a conservative would have come out and said that it was a noble act for a right-winger to kill a Muslim, it would that was a that was an ambassador to some Middle Eastern country, they would ask for his head on a platter. And this guy can come out and talk. Imagine that. Say that to his family. It says, as Vladimir Putin's man in Turkey, Karlov was the public face of that murderous dictator's war crimes around the globe and oppression at home, Kuntzman claims. Andrei Karlov is a human embodiment of policies that deployed bunker busters to kill babies, sent fighter planes on scorched earth bombing runs that destroyed the whole city, aided Syrian madman Bashar al-Assad in his campaign that has killed hundreds of thousands and even ordered attacks on UN aid workers. Kuntzman, who was surprised his murder didn't come months ago, attempted to draw comparisons to the 1938 assassination of Ernst von Rath, the Nazi ambassador of France. So, it says, he's no civilian, I won't apologize. This guy's got a mental block. Something going on with him. It says, the guy who cried and said he suffered from actual PTSD from firing an AR-15 says another man's assassination is no big deal. Yep. Yeah, this guy's a real piece of work. He had PTSD from firing an AR-15. And he makes it back into the news. And how they keep him on, I have no idea. You get the Berlin market attack, and they're doing everything to say that it's not terrorism. They're going, we're not sure. We're not sure. It said, the German police are still looking for him. It says, somehow is Gert Kuntzman going to justify that too? So, in sports news, I want to talk about it a little bit before we get into it. Apparently, this came out yesterday, and this was on the golfchannel.com. FBI leaked information into Mickelson probe. An FBI agent leaked confidential information to two news outlets during an insider trading investigation that focused on Phil Mickelson. This is according to an ESPN report. The report indicates that information was leaked to both New York Times and Wall Street Journal. While Mickelson came under fire for a stock purchase he made based on a tip from a noted sports bettor, Billy Walters. A recent filing by the Department of Justice described the agent in question as a significant source of confidential information leaked to reporters. About the underlying investigation, the leak will reportedly be investigated by the government officials as possible violation of criminal procedures. So the report notes that the leak resulted in several articles being published about Mickelson in May and June of 2014, and also during the time the FBI officials approached Mickelson at the Memorial Tournament following the completion of his first round. Mickelson was never charged with a crime, though in May of 2016, Mickelson was named as a relief defendant by the Securities and Exchange Commission and subsequently agreed to pay back more than $1 million from a purchase of Dean Food stock that was based on material non-public information acquired from Walters. So Mickelson's lucky they didn't do any time. I mean, could you see insider trading like Martha Stewart? Well, she ended up going to jail. So, that's a scary situation. I deal in shrink funds. I end up buy high, sell them low. That's the best luck I have with stocks. Wilson Triton driver. The saga with that being non-conforming. Well, apparently Wilson Triton driver is added to the USJ conforming list. 2 loft options for Wilson Golf Triton driver were added to USJ list for driver heads Monday, a week after the models available at retail were deemed non-conforming. The 9-degree and the 10.5-degree models of the Triton are now approved, so long as they have replacement sole plates and cannot be up to or set up with adjustable weights that produce launch conditions that exceed USGA guidelines. Wilson said it had not yet submitted its 12-degree model for USGA inspection, as the company was focused on providing fixes for the more popular lower lofts. Triton, which retails for $449.99, was the winning product of Golf Channel's Reality Series Driver versus Driver. It's a cool looking driver. Seen it in person. I seen the non-conforming product in person, and it's not that 2 milligram difference what it's going to be and a different weight. Wilson tweaked the interchangeable soles that come with Triton to fit USJ specs, and a 12-gram weight was removed from the kit that comes with the driver. The USJ is bound to silence because of protocol, but apparently the fixes Wilson proposed were enough to land the 2 lofts of Triton drivers on the conforming list. So will make them happy. Hopefully they can get it ready and get some sales. This came out yesterday. So, with Christmas coming up, this is your time to make hay. And I'm sure there's some people that tried to buy it with the 12-degree weight because they wanted to, they wanted that hot face. So, whether they sold many of them, I think they probably would have. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. And I know some guys that would play the hot driver and not care. So, and majority of people, it wouldn't matter anyway. Apparently, Bill Murray, was in Caddyshack, of course, legendary golf show. The Silverenda story is now going to become a Chicago bar. It's going to be called Bill Murray and his brothers are opening a Caddyshack sports restaurant in Rosemont, Illinois. It says the clan already owns one golf-themed restaurant in St. Augustine at the World Golf Village. Though the comedian has a rich, storied career, Bill's role as Carl Spackler in Caddyshack is arguably his most iconic performance. The movie, which was co-written by his brothers Brian, which inspired by brothers' experience as a looper at Indian Hills Country Club in Winnetka, Illinois. The Murrays were inducted to the Caddy Hall of Fame last summer. So the restaurant's news is the latest in Murray's 2016 golf ventures. He played in the Celebrity Pro or Ryder Cup match paired with Jordan Spieth at a Pro-Am, opened a new clothing line, and took $5 from President Obama in the Oval Office putting contest. So that's pretty cool. And also, he's a rabid Cub fan and was there for every game. So him to build a restaurant in Chicago would be pretty cool. I've seen golf theme bars before and stuff like that. We have one here where they actually have simulators where you can go in and play rounds of golf, off of the simulators. I've never been to it, but some people like to do it, give them away. Playing golf here in the wintertime. It's, you got, what was 14 below last weekend? That was just the temperature, not the wind chill, 14 below. So, we had huge fireworks tragedy over in Mexico. It says it was I don't know, like a flea market or whatever, something like that. They had it was a magical, marvelous town. He told this one guy told the Washington Post. He said, when people of artisans, musicians, pyrotechnics is a form of expression of art and making people happy, he added. He says, many of the residents do have a certain magic to each one. On each of the town's many religious holidays, fireworks illuminate the skies, the whistles and blasts signaling the night of music and celebration. Well, apparently they had a powerful chain reaction exploding, causing open-air fireworks market in the town to erupt in flames and smoke. And this could go up, killing 29, leaving dozens with critical burns. It says officials have not said what have caused the blast, which destroyed more than 80% of the 300 stalls in a San Pablito fireworks market. I mean, I just can't imagine. They showed an aerial photo of the market before the blast and after, and it looks like a bomb. Just, I mean, like somebody dropped a nuke right in there, just boom, because everything is gone. And I've seen video of it where the fireworks are going off, just amazing. I mean, you wonder what caused that chain reaction to get other boosts to go off. Because, I mean, just one firework going off is probably not going to set them all off. So something had to. They said there were people that were down like a mile away. They could feel the ground vibrating. That's how big it was. And this is not the first time. It says, in the 16 years that has witnessed 3 or 4 explosions. It says Tuesday's blast was far from the first time. 2005, a similar explosion erupted at the same market, leaving hundreds of stalls just ahead of Mexico's Independence Day. About 5 years later, explosions in parts of the town left 1 dead and 8 injured. So, in 1998, which decimated 2 city blocks, killed 10 people and injured about 50 others. So, you think about how dangerous these things can be. And you got them in that big of quantity. It's just scary to think that anything, and you got probably people smoking and doing it. I guarantee you, people are around there smoking, not caring. One other thing I left out in sports today, apparently Iowa's Fran McCaffrey has come under a little bit of heat because towards the end of their game, they were playing North Dakota, and Iowa was up by a decent amount. It was the last few seconds of the game, and they're letting the clock run out with 3 seconds remaining. They had an 11-point lead. North Dakota's Corey Baldwin stripped the ball. I mean, he just walked up to the guy and just ripped it out of his arms. Passed it to a teammate for a layup. Time expired, so the shot didn't count. Fran McCaffrey he was a little irritated by the end of it because, there was no chance. And he was just letting the time run out. And the guy just went up there and ripped it right out of his hands. And he thought it was a little, it was a little embarrassing to see another team act that way. I mean, if he wanted to, the guy could have dribbled it out. So Fran McCaffrey told the guys, go to the locker room, and didn't even bother with the team handshake. Well, it's kind of a, it's considered good sportsmanship. Like you see tour players, golf, they get done, they take off their hat, they go over and shake each other's hands. And it's done that way. So, people learn to do is have good sportsmanship and interact. Winning and losing is, so each, that's when they go to college, they learn to become a more well-rounded adult, they call it, and that's what they're looking for. So he was a little apologized a little bit for that part of it, but he still stood by his actions because he didn't think it was right, because he was mad by the way the team reacted towards the end of the game, the other team, North Dakota. I heard about it. I listened to guys on ESPN. Some people were like, oh, he did wrong. Some people said, I can understand being ticked off because you don't feel like somebody's, using good sportsmanship to end that way. But I wouldn't dwell on it too bad. I don't think it was that big a deal. There was also in, let's see. Oh, after all this is said and done with the Islamic terrorism over in Europe, the EU is pushing gun control in response to Islamic terrorism. I'm like, you're kidding me. So, you got these people that want to do is open the borders and allow anybody in, but then they want to do is preach gun control. It says they've already had over in Europe 2 trucks. 80 some in Nice, France, and then 12 or whatever it was in Berlin. And they want to do is preach gun control. Then nothing to do with gun control. That's the thing, is it doesn't stop. If they can't find a gun, they're going to use, just like that, they're going to use a truck. They have a video that somebody shared where it was a mother and father went up, kissed their 7-year-old kid goodbye, and the little kid was strapped with the explosive, walks into a police station and blows up a police station over in the Middle East. I'm like, how could you sit there and walk up to your kid, kiss your kid goodbye, and then blow your kid up? Makes no sense at all. It's sad to see that. It's we have some seriously sick individuals in this world. To sit there and take your kid and use them for terrorist attacks. We have also in, let's see what else we got here in the news. Besides the EU pushing gun control. We have, talking about, I had a, they've been talking about the Electoral College, and they've been just pounding the Electoral College, how it's a mistake, blah, blah, this, and, that Hillary should have got it because it should have been the popular vote. Well, Hillary's popular vote win only came because of California. You take out California, and Donald Trump wins. And everybody goes, well, California's a state. I go, yes. How many illegal aliens had driver's license and voted California? Well, I'm sure it's very possible that quite a few did. But the same people that are preaching that the popular vote are the same party that has superdelegates. So, wouldn't that be just like an electoral college? I love Nancy Pelosi's statement. Well, the reason why we have superdelegates is so a candidate doesn't get elected or get nominated that that shouldn't be nominated. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? So in other words, it doesn't matter who you vote for. We're going to pick somebody for you anyway. So it was good for her when she was running for the nomination, but it wasn't good for her when she went for president. And she actually had more faithless electors leave her than Donald Trump did. There was random names put in, for president, and there was some that threatened to leave that they replaced. So it just tells you, and they go and they blame everything else except for her. They won't blame her. Now they're trying to do is find out they're trying to make FBI director answer to why he had this bombshell blah 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 information right before she got elected, or she the election, I mean. And it's not going to change the fact. Then they want to blame Russia. They want to blame, everything else. It's always somebody else's fault. I guess right before the election, President Obama apparently picked up the red phone, they call it, and went, hey, you need to better stay out of our election or this could be war or whatever. Made threats to him. So I liked the post that somebody put on Facebook. If Russia was messing with our election, President Obama, it wouldn't have got 8 years. That's what the post was. So yeah, I mean there's some comical posts. I talked about it Monday. What was the originator of fake news? Well, you look at a lot of the liberal will run with a story before they vet it. I mean, look at Hands Up, Don't Shoot. That's probably one of the biggest fake news stories there is. Sheriff Clark, he said that was one of the originators of fake news because it was a fake narrative. And everybody ran with it. All the media ran with it. And it became a national hands up, don't shoot when he never had his hands up. Michael Brown never had his hands up. So, yeah, it's many people are still, I guess what you want to call butthurt over Trump getting elected. They never thought it would ever get to there. No, he never had a chance. No way. Well, they just, drank the Kool-Aid that the liberals put out and the media put out. Oh, she's way ahead. And never thought it would ever happen. So, I'm just looking forward to it. I hope that we can do is get our economy on the right track and, get some things going the right way. Apparently, Obama staffers pranked the president. They put a peeping snowman looking in the window of the Oval Office. And if you haven't seen it, look it out. Pretty kind of funny. Funny to see. But, it's like natural. What is it? What do the White House put out? Happy Holidays. Not Merry Christmas. And that's what I liked about Donald Trump. He gets up there and he says Merry Christmas. If you're one that Merry Christmas bothers you, well, oh well. I don't think it's meant to be disrespecting a religion, but Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. How about both of them? And if you're an atheist, don't worry. Don't listen. Then it doesn't mean anything. Don't take the time off. Work for the people that do. If you're an atheist, why take the holiday off? We had Secret Santa. Apparently, Bill Gates Reddit user received a huge box of Secret Santa gifts from Bill Gates. Apparently in Lincoln, Nebraska, Bill Gates surprised a woman with a huge box of video-themed gifts as part of Reddit's Secret Santa gift exchange. A Reddit user with the name Erix, A-E-R-R-I-X, shared a lengthy post detailing a carefully curated package of gifts Gates sent her as a part of Online Forum's annual exchange. So the giant box was overnighted. I was just flabbergasted. I wrote on the box inside, and the pets had to inspect immediately. She opened the box to uncover a signed photo of Bill Gates along with a note lamenting the fact her Secret Santa stood up and informing her that he made a donation to code.org in her name in addition to the rest of the gifts in the box. So, it says, I can't believe your Secret Santa left you hanging last year. To ensure you don't lose faith in Reddit community, I enclosed several gifts that I hope you enjoy. He wrote, there are few video games for you to play, some things to keep you warm, and 3 of my favorite movies to watch over the holidays. The package contained a Microsoft Xbox One, complete with several games and extra controllers, mittens for Erix and her dog, Harry Potter slippers, and a series of gifts from Legend of Zelda video game series, including a paper sword and a perler bead picture frame with a photo of her and her husband that Gates photoshopped himself into. So, pretty cool. He says, you think about, he actually took some serious time to do all this. I mean, even if he had somebody Photoshop it, just to take the time and effort to do it, it was a good-sized box. That's pretty cool. You don't see that too often from, from a major company president like that. I got to give him credit. He does a lot of good with his foundations and giving money to different organizations. The guy, he's so wealthy that, they joke about he could, it would cost him more to stop to pick up money than it would to keep on going. I don't know if I'd want to be that way, to where I'm so busy and you're so successful that you just can't see the little things. You're too. It's like somebody being famous. I'd hate to have that where you're sitting there and everywhere you go, you got somebody, hounding you for your photograph and everything like that. That would get a little old. But no, I think that'd be cool. Yeah, you'd love to do you'd love to bought some, some Microsoft stock when it IPO'd. That'd been great. Apparently, families of the Orlando nightclub shooting, speaking of Facebook, Twitter, and Google, they are suing Facebook, Twitter, and Google. It says, allegedly providing material support to the Islamic State and helping to radicalize shooter Omar Mateen. It says in a complaint filed in Eastern District of Michigan, the families of Tevin Crosby, Javier Jorge Reyes, and Juan Ramon Guerrero argued that the 3 web platforms provided the terrorist group ISIS with accounts they used to spread extremist propaganda, raise funds, and attract new recruits. Without defendants, Twitter, Facebook, and Google, parentheses YouTube, the explosive growth of ISIS over the last few years is the most feared terrorist group in the world. Would not have been possible, the lawsuit states. It says Mateen, a 29-year-old security guard who pledged allegiance to ISIS, opened fire inside Orlando's Pulse nightclub back in June, killing 49, wounding 53. So, you get people that say, they call, somebody a name, and they get shut down for a week or a month. They get what they call Facebook jail. And these radical groups post on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and they put videos up and all that, and they're not shut down. I don't understand how they can still stay up when they should be shut down immediately. So, if you can call somebody a name and offend somebody and they shut you down for a month, these groups like they're recruiting for radical Islam, and they don't shut them down. They eventually do, but they're allowed to post videos and everything for longer periods of time. It's sad to see that. Apparently, customs officers in New Jersey found 5 pounds of cocaine in spandex shorts. It was not so cleverly concealed into a traveler's spandex shorts. U.S. Customs and Border Protection said officers at Newark Liberty International Airport intercepted passenger Roald Thomas Trop, a Netherlands national arriving in the United States from Aruba. Street value at about $78,000. He's going to be doing some time. Also, speaking of, customs, customs officers also found, and this is they found liquid meth inside dream catchers. You know those, I don't know they got feathers and, circle. It says U.S. Customs and Border Protection announced that officers in New Mexico found 1.6 pounds of liquid meth hidden inside Native American-style dream catchers. I didn't know that they made, you could make it in liquid form like that, but they said officers with the Office of Field Operations in Columbus said a 2000 Dodge Neon bearing a woman and 2 young girls entered the country from Mexico about 2 p.m. Sunday. A drug-sniffing dog at the port indicated something was amiss about the dream catchers. It says officers discovered the dream catchers' rings were made of a rubber tubing that contained a liquid substance that tested positive for methamphetamine. So, sad part of it is the 25-year-old woman resident of Nuevo Casas Grandes, Chihuahua, Mexico, Chihuahua, was arrested and expected to face drug smuggling charges, and 2 little kids, girls ages 1 and 8. So, you think about that. That's just sad. If those are her kids, she was a mule. She has to pay the price. It says, apparently Walmart is going to drop its Black Lives Matter bulletproof clothing. Walmart announced Tuesday would no longer be selling Black Lives Matter clothing on its website that says bulletproof. I guess they got a lot of flack over it. Speaking of getting flack, MTV has been getting a lot of flack and pulled an ad about where they were pretty much blaming white males for pretty much calling them racist. They need to do better for 2017. Just flat out come out and said white males. And it was a pretty bad ad. I listened to it and watched it. I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's not just white males that way. As we all need to get better. But to sit there and single out one, they made a racist statement just himself. So, Uber was in the news last week, in the news this week again. Uber says a Philly woman was charged $28,600 authorization charge to hold her, hold her credit card on file. Usually they charge $1 or whatever, and then it gets credited back. I've seen that where the gas stations will do that. Well, she was charged $28,600 authorization hold on her. I mean, that's a little steep. They said it was a computer glitch. Oh, yeah. But that'd be a little scary. Here was kind of a cool story. You think of Les Nessman. I don't know if you ever watched WKRP in Cincinnati. Well, Les Nessman was... they didn't have office walls. And he put lines on the ground, showing his office, and everybody had to do his fake knock and use a fake door. Well, apparently a Pennsylvania office worker transformed their cubicle into a log cabin. So it's you can actually go on there and see it. Pretty cool looking. It says, took the cubicle Christmas decorating to the next level by transforming it into a log cabin. And I don't know what they made it out of, but it looks pretty cool. I guess if you're going to work, have fun while you do it. There was a story out where this woman can't leave her house because she's allergic to Wi-Fi and mobile phones. I've never heard of that before. A woman says she's permanently housebound because she's allergic to Wi-Fi and phone signals. Kim Diata can rarely see friends and family because electromagnetic waves from modern technology give her migraines, fatigue, and even infections. So the former nurse has to wear a shielded bed net on the rare occasion she leaves the home, and she can only visit places with poor mobile phone reception. The debilitating condition has forced her to move home twice due to phone masts being built nearby, and she now sleeps under a special net. Move out into Amish country, and you're fine. She hopes that speaking out with electrosensitivity will help people understand her unusual connection and be more sympathetic. I wonder if she has to watch out in lightning storms, too. Kim, most of the time, think that I am mad. It is so difficult because people are not feeling it themselves. I have not seen friends and family for so long. I have had 2 visitors for half a day each this year. It's heartbreaking, really. I have never heard of somebody being that sensitive to electromagnetic. It's I always wondered, with some of the cell towers and different stuff, that it's very possible. But here's another story. Bald guy, they called him Chrome Dome criminal, imprisoned for, get this, Rogaine theft ring. I didn't know there was such a thing as a Rogaine theft ring. He will serve 2 years in prison for heading a Rogaine theft ring. Targeted more than 24 pharmacies in Ohio, according to court records. What the heck does Rogaine do? Andres Arias, 36, pleaded guilty Tuesday in common pleas court in Warren County and was sentenced on a felony count. Arias, they got a picture of him here, charging him with participating in organized retail theft ring that victimized numerous CVS and Walgreens stores. It says, according to Arias, a Florida resident and several cohorts stole Rogaine and other over-the-counter drugs from the pharmacy and then shipped the products to a retail fence in New Jersey. Some of the items would then appear online to be sold on eBay. I just can't see that you'd get that much for stealing Rogaine. It's here's another story. Chewbacca. Apparently, Chewbacca was arrested by police. So the former employee of a Florida vending machine company dressed up in a Chewbacca costume and stole money from a pair of kiosks he previously maintained, according to cops, who arrested a Star Wars devotee for grand theft. You know, it's pretty obvious when you got keys to get into them. He said, according to investigators, he took a total of $623 from a pair of vending machines operated by Florida Fresh. So, the defendant, a felony complaint states he observed on video entering the above location in a Chewbacca costume. The guy was terminated by the company 2 months ago, cops report. I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you got a key for it, and he probably kept a key, they're going to be able to figure out who you are. Because you're dressed up in a Chewbacca costume, they can narrow down, the suspects. We had a break-in at one of the golf courses last night here, and I'm like, what are you going to get in December? There's nothing there. There's nothing in the golf courses. I mean, well, it was about almost 11 o'clock last night. Guy broke the door, went in, and didn't get anything. But thought he was slick or whatever. When he set the alarm off, and then he took off. But I mean, eventually, hopefully he gets caught. We heard last night. We come out of Taekwondo, and my son goes, "Oop! I just heard 5 or 6 gunshots." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not good." They're talking about road rage incidents on the rise. People, I mean, you see people the way they drive; they just don't care about it. They're so focused on getting someplace and if you get in their way, they want to do is attack you. So, and you got people that just don't care about anybody. There's a story here where this mom left her son in a storm. Apparently, they found her. She was under the influence. A Colorado woman accused of leaving her son alone in a car overnight during a snowstorm appeared to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time she apparently abandoned the boy. The boy was found, and I guess they said that the mother said she had 6 shots of vodka. They found the boy, he had hypothermia and frostbite. Found him 14 hours later. That's scary. You wonder, why does somebody like that are allowed to, they just end up killing the kid because all they care about is they want to go party. Here's a good one. IKEA. This is apparently it's occurring overseas. It hadn't started here in the United States that I know of, but IKEA is urging teenagers to stop creeping into its stores and having illegal sleepovers. About 10 non-sponsored sleepovers have been logged across the world by the Swedish flat-pack furniture giant this year. Most recently, 2 14-year-old girls were caught by IKEA employees after spending the night at a branch in Jönköping in Sweden. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. The craze appears to have been started by 2 Belgian YouTubers in August. Their video, which has about 1.7 million views, documents their exploits, including jumping on beds after they hid in a wardrobe for 3 hours to avoid detection. Unlike the 14-year-old girls, however, they were not caught and walked out after spending another few hours in wardrobes waiting for the stores to open. And it says, how is it fun? I have no idea. That would not be fun to me. But makes me think of the show Mannequin. So, yeah. And who wants to sit inside a Kia? We have good news. Santa, who had ho ho written on his license plate. Let's see. I fought. Let's see. I had it. Oh, here we go. Fought to keep his license plate in Alabama, and he won. It says an Alabama Santa said Christmas is saved after the state reversed an early decision to revoke his ho ho license plate because it could be seen as offensive. If it was HOE, maybe, but not ho-ho. I'm like... So... Oh, and this is one that gets me. Monopoly Hotline launched in UK to settle holiday arguments. Well, you know, every time you play Monopoly, by the time you get to the end of it, after about 3 hours of it, somebody flips the board over and says, F this. Yeah, that's the way it gets. He says, we'll have experts on hand with official rule books to instantly settle any dispute and advice on how to resolve common complaints. With each person also having the opportunity to make a donation to the child line when they call. Marketing Director of Hasbro UK and Ireland, Craig Wilkins. A recent survey said that 51% of Monopoly games end in some kind of quarrel, with people making up the rules as they go along as common cause. The survey also determined that most families are likely to be playing Monopoly between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m., with arguments most commonly occurring around 6 p.m. Yep. That's when they flip the board and they say, this is it. All right, well, it's that time. It's a short, fast hour. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night on Night Talk with Joe Rocks, and I'll see you on Friday for the last night. It'll be the last show before Christmas. And everybody have a great night, great week, and most of all, be safe. Remember, it's the reason for the season. And you see something, say something. Have a good night.